Hey guys, so I just finished getting ready for work and I was so pumped about making this video that I made notes last night that I've written down here, and I decided I was going to try and tape this before I went to work. So this was a request from someone. She wanted me to go through all the different eyeshadow finishes from MAC and describe them because she wanted to purchase them but was kind of confused about the different finishes. I've examined the shadows, I've come up with some kind of way to describe them, and this is my personal opinion, so this might not be the way that MAC actually classifies them. And I did try and go online to MACcosmetics.com, but they don't really give really good descriptions other than it's a Veluxe Pearl or something like that. So I believe that they have 9 finishes: Frost, Satin, Starflash, Matte, Veluxe Pearl, Lustre, Velvet, Veluxe, and Matte Squared. And I don't actually have any Matte Squared examples to show you, so I can't give you a really good explanation of that. But I do have examples of all the others. So I'm going to start with Frost. So I actually have 7 Frosts. This is a tie for another category that I have the most eyeshadows in that type of format. So I have 7 different Frost eyeshadows. I personally think that they look iridescent and they have like a shiny quality. Kind of like if you turn your hand or your eye in certain different lights, it kind of looks like a white frosty kind of effect to it. I really like to think that it adds dimension to your eyelid, and I think that's why I really like Frosts. I also think that they're really soft and creamy in texture. They're really, really easy to blend, and I really like working with them. That's probably one of the reasons I have so many of them. And I think some good ones, if you're interested in buying MAC eyeshadows to start with, are Satin Taupe, Nylon, and Juxt. So this is Nylon. It's my favorite highlight color from MAC. It has a, slight shimmery quality to it. This one here is Satin Taupe. It's a really sort of taupey, grayish brown color, and it's great for darkening up your crease. It's also really good for smoky eyes and if you want a dark lid color. And then Juxt is a really nice soft pink with a frosty sheen to it. Alright, so my second category is satin, and I only own 2 satin eyeshadows. They have a light sheen to them, but it's not the sort of white sheen that the Frosts give off, so it doesn't really give you a highlight effect. It's just kind of a light sort of shimmery effect. They're also really soft and creamy in texture, and I think a really good example of one would be a color called Shroom. So if you're interested in starting with MAC products, Shroom is a really nice soft highlight. It's this one here on the top. This one's a little bit more neutral. Now the third category I only own 1 in, and this is Starflash. And I like to think that the Starflashes kind of have a goldy sheen to them. They're really creamy and soft, and Go is my favorite Starflash color. It's the only one that I own, but it's limited edition, so you can't buy it in a MAC store anymore. I did find them in a CCO recently, so if you're interested in picking that up, you can still get them at CCOs, which is Company Cosmetic Outlet. This is kind of what Go looks like. It has a light shimmery quality to it, sort of a gold. This is a really pretty warm brown, and I love this for my outer crease. The next category is matte, and I own 2 matte eyeshadows from MAC. They're flat in color. They don't have any shimmery qualities whatsoever. They're completely flat. They are highly pigmented. They have a dense texture. They're not as creamy and soft as the Frosts, the Satins, and the Starflashes. They're almost kind of chalky in texture, so when you put it on your finger, it doesn't feel creamy and soft. It feels almost chalky. And some must-haves are Embark and Carbon. So Carbon is MAC's matte black, and Embark is a really nice warm brown color. So this is Carbon, flat matte black. And this is Embark. It's a warm, sort of reddish brown color that's great for deepening up the outer crease. Those are really good starter crease colors. The next category is Veluxe Pearl, and I own 7 Veluxe Pearls, so this is a tie with Frosts for the eyeshadow finishes that I have the most of. These eyeshadows have a holographic or metallic effect to them, and they're very shimmery. And what I mean by holographic effect to them is, depending upon the way the light hits the shadow or your eyelid or your hand, wherever you're testing the product out on, the eyeshadow has, the defined color that it is. A couple of them that I have are green and purple, but in certain lights my purple eyeshadow has gold flecks in it and green flecks in it. I have a gold shadow as well that has some brown flecks in it and green flecks in it. So depending upon how the light hits the shadow, it changes the effect of the shadow. So it's multidimensional. It adds dimension to your eyelid. They're creamy and soft. They're really easy to work with, and I think some must-haves if you're looking to start a MAC collection are Woodwinked, Gorgeous Gold, and All That Glitters. This one here in the middle on the top, that's All That Glitters. It's a really nice sort of goldy beige lid color. Gorgeous Gold, I actually broke it, but it's in this pot here. It is a really pretty sort of goldy yellowy color, but it has these sort of really small green and brown particles that sort of shimmer throughout the eyeshadow, which is one of the reasons I really like this one. It's really great for warming up your inner crease. And then the last one is Woodwinked. It looks really dark in the pot, almost like that color Go I showed you earlier. However, it comes off more gold on your eyelid. So it's a fantastic lid color, and also to carry up a little higher than your crease to maybe deepen it up if you don't want an uber dramatic look. But this is a fantastic color. Now we are on to Lusters. I own 3 Lusters. They are glittery and shimmery. They're very messy. They're easy to break. I dropped one once and I had to keep it in an alternative container because it's all over the place now. I think that they're really hard to work with, but the best way to work with Lusters is to actually apply them with your finger and pack it on your lid than to use a brush. I really don't recommend purchasing these, especially if you're a beginner that's just learning how to work with eyeshadow, because they're really, really messy. So this one's called Retrospect. And I've used a good amount of it. It's just really messy, and these little specks of sort of glitter end up all over your face, which I do not appreciate because it's a lot of work to clean it off. The next category is Velvet. I own 2 Velvets. They are more matte in color, but they have a slight shimmery effect to them. Not as shimmery as Frost's or Veluxe Pearls, but they have this shimmery particle that runs through them very lightly. It doesn't make the entire eyeshadow shimmery, but I can see these little sort of light refracting particles sometimes. They are sort of soft. They're soft in texture, but they're also a little bit chalky in texture, much like the matte toned eyeshadows. And they're more dense. They're harder in texture. There's 2 colors that I recommend for them, and that's the 2 colors that I own. The first is Vanilla, and the second is Mulch. Vanilla is a really nice highlight color. I've used a lot of this color, and it's almost matte in coloring, but it does have a light sparkle that runs through it, and I really like this for my highlight area. And then this color here on the bottom is called Mulch. This one is a velvet, but it does have a little bit more shimmery quality running through it, but it's fantastic for the lid color or for an outer crease to deepen up your outer crease. I really, really like this color. It's very pretty. Now, second to last, Veluxe. So I own 2 Veluxe eyeshadows. They are velvety in texture, but they're also chalky in texture. I like to think that the mattes, the velvets, and the Veluxes are more matte in texture. They are a little bit harder in texture. They're not as soft and creamy on your fingers. It has a matte effect to it, but it has really good color payoff. So the velvets, the Veluxes, and the mattes are all very highly pigmented. And I think that there's 2 really good neutrals that I own that would be great for starters. The first is Brown Down, and the second is called Kid. So this is Kid. It's a really sort of medium toned brown, but this color, for me at least, has multiple uses. It's great for a lid color, for a light sort of neutral effect, but it also can be applied a little more heavily to the outer crease to really darken up your crease area. But it also is a really good match for my eyebrows. So sometimes I use this to shade in my eyebrows. So it's a really versatile color for me. Now, Brown Down is much like Embark. It's sort of a reddish toned brown. And this is great for deepening up the outer crease. It's a really dark color, so if you don't like super uber dark outer crease colors, then this might not be the right one for you. Those are the 9 different finishes of MAC eyeshadows. I hope that I touched on all the categories that you might be interested in. I tried to give you examples and eyeshadows that I think are really great to start off with from MAC. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you enjoyed, and I will talk to you guys later.